Johnny's really good at explaining stuff, so why don't we just have Johnny explain Graceland in like 3 minutes?
Okay.
From entry to graduation. Go.
Graceland Ranch is a place where you're coming off the street, you're very vulnerable, and you've got all these behavior patterns that need to be unpacked and relearned. And so we don't let you have your phone for the first 60 days because you're high risk. You know, people stalk their ex-girlfriends or ex-boyfriends. So you got to earn your trust at Graceland. And you start on little brother or little sister, which is a 2-week phase where you're going to learn all the rules from a big brother or a big sister who's been through the program. After 2 weeks, you're getting the wet behind your ears is drying. You get one chore in the morning. You do a personal business for them throughout the day, and you do a 10-step at night. It's really simple. What happens is you relearn how to integrate into society over the course of a 12-month program. So the chores are very modest, maybe vacuum the rug or make your bed, simple stuff you do throughout the day. And then after about 2 months, you can have your phone back, you can work, you're trusted, you can sign in and out. Based on your behavior, we're gonna know where you're at. If you're full of shit, we're gonna unpack that. Every Thursday, we get together as a house and we address all the house concerns. Whether people are lying, manipulating, half-assing their chores, not going to meetings, any kind of odd behaviors that other residents in the house see, they're gonna address in an open forum together as a family. Every night at dinner, we do a positive and a pull-up. What that means is each resident finds one thing that their peer is doing that's positive, and one thing that their peer is doing that could be better. And we don't carry our resentments forward into the next day. Over the course of 12 months, you're gonna go through little brother phase to phase 1, phase 2 to senior member, and then eventually phase 3, where you're able to work and date and just sort of reintegrate into society on your own. So by the time you leave, you can actually go to the graduate house and just rent a room like a regular apartment. It's an altruistic movement, sort of similar to a sober fraternity, all moving in the same direction.
Between the little brother and you get your phone and all that cool stuff, before phase 2, when you're at meetings, you have to stay with everybody in the house. You can't walk around by yourself. You can't go to the store and go to the bathroom by yourself. But then you get to phase 2, and now you have some more leniency, and you have sober friends in the community. You can go out to meetings with them. And phase 3 is the last phase. You have to do an exit plan, and an exit plan, you have to read it in our Thursday meeting, and the staff and your peers kind of give you feedback and listen to your plan of leaving the house to see if you're ready.
So we attend Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, about 5 meetings a week. You get off on the weekends. There's a voluntary Bible study that you can attend. You don't need to attend it. We want to get people to practice these principles in all their affairs, whether in the house or outside the house.
Contracting, and I would know because they used to call me Contract King, but contracting is holding secrets. If Madison tells me she didn't do her chore and I don't tell anybody, that's a contract. Now we're locked into something that we did together.
When you first get sober, you basically are who you're around. You're gonna become who you're with. So we watch out for 2 people that are bad for each other. Contracting leads to what is NonCom.
NonCom stands for no communication or non-communication. You're not communicating with the person that you were doing shady stuff with. Whether they were drinking and you kept their secret, or they were smoking weed and you didn't tell them. It starts with these little behaviors, We plant a thought, we reap the act.
If I'm not going to tell on him for not making his bed, I'm probably not going to tell on him for relapsing.
Exactly.
So DubC stands for work coordinator. That's basically our chore checker at Graceland. It is the most important chore because we want to have a clean house, but it's almost like a manager position. So they're learning how to hold their peers accountable by checking their chores and uphold a standard of the house by keeping it clean. Like, I know the house is loose when the DubC isn't checking their chores properly and the house is messy. Board chores. DubC is a board chore. They have a binder with all the chores. We have strike monitor. The strike monitor is writing all the rules that have been broken throughout the day, whether it's a cup left out, a messy bed, someone didn't do their chore, someone's lying. They write down every little thing. John gives me a strike, I have to put it on the board. I, as strike monitor, cannot decide what strike goes on the board. Then we have essay monitor. The essay monitor counts all the written essays from the strikes that were given, takes care of our programs. They're our scribe. So when we're in group or dinner and where there's no new rules, new programs on people, they're writing all that stuff down. The peers run the house. So if someone's not in exercise time or big book study, that's them missing a group. They would get 1,000 words if they don't attend, but if they show up late, it's 100 words per minute. So if John's 5 minutes late, you're gonna get 500 words. This house is about peer support. If I come to dinner and I notice, where's Johnny? We are not gonna start dinner or any house meeting until the house goes and gets that peer member. It's also about like raising the level of awareness. Why is staff recognizing that their housemate isn't at dinner? It should be all the peers doing that. Reflections is an essay over 1,000 words. You can get a reflections essay from not doing your chore. You can get a reflections essay for lying, contracting, everything above 1,000. What that means is you are sitting on the table. We have reflections tables where you write your essay. You can't talk to anyone. You can have your check-ins. Their job is just to write.
They make it right, whatever they did, until they walk through the consequences of whatever their actions were, because we never have consequences for our actions, and we do whatever the fuck we want, whenever the fuck we want, and not at Graceland.
And I think also the biggest thing is with these essays, a lot of people get kind of scared, or the online people don't understand what they're doing. I had my first big essay. Immediately my head didn't want to do it. I wanted to cry about it. I wanted to play the victim and find a way out of it. What I tell the residents is out in the real world, the consequences of our actions, whether it's speeding, I'm getting a ticket. Whether a DUI, I may be going to jail or killing somebody. Using drugs, the consequences of that is overdosing. And just as a regular functioning adult, there are consequences and rules outside of Graceland. So we're having them practice being accountable and doing the shit they don't want to do. For some tough cases or behaviors that need awareness, we have some tough programs for that. So the Pullup Program for me was needed because anytime anyone gave me any feedback or direction, like, hey, Madison, you should park on the right side, I'd say, oh, no, that's okay. I like the left side instead.
Or there was someone parked there.
Yeah, I would always have an excuse.
I
always, basically what it was I thought my thinking was best and that I knew better.
You know, so I came in with a lot of broken, bad tools that I learned on the street: lying, cheating, manipulating, rationalization, minimization. I would always act like I didn't know the rules. You know, if I got caught doing something, I would just play dumb. So before I could speak, they put me on the Johnny Verbal program. So before I could even ask for the ketchup or tell you some bullshit, I had to say this verbal to get me to think about what the fuck I was doing. And my verbal was, hi, my name is Johnny. I'm about to pretend I don't know what I'm doing and lie to you. Here's my excuse. Please feel bad for me. Because my name is Johnny, and I would always pretend I didn't know what I was doing and try and get you to feel bad for me. I would manipulate people into feeling sorry for me to get something from them. And over time at Graceland, I learned to be accountable for my actions, not to lie about the big things, not to lie about the little things. So after about 3 months of saying, hi, my name is Johnny, I'm about to pretend I don't know what I'm doing and lie to you. Here's my excuse. Please feel bad for me. Please pass the ketchup. I got tired of that, and I stopped lying. I stopped manipulating, and I started telling the truth. And over time, when I made a mistake, instead of rationalizing it and justifying it, I would just be accountable. Because it was easier to be accountable and write the words than to constantly argue and battle.